Well, hello there to all the good people of Ohio and beyond. This is Aaron Knapp, and you're tuned into Unplugged, broadcasting without permission. This is a place where the truth gets louder and we dig deeper, and where we always remember be lawful, not awful. If you want the full stories, the documents, the videos, and everything they don't want you to see, head on over to Aaron Knapp Unplugged.com, my new home for every investigation, every episode, and every update. And while you're here, be sure to like the video, follow the page, and hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs the truth. We're building something real here. We're building something fearless, and we're doing it together. Welcome to Unplugged. Let's kick this thing off. Well,
Pet that dog?
No.
Can I pet that dog?
No,
Can
he's
I
sleeping.
pet that dog? Can I pet that dog?
Plug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polished decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask. Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polished decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask. Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polished decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask. Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polished decoys. Broadcasting with.
alrighty there. Good evening there, Lorain City, Lorain County, and all above. Hey guys, Aaron Knapp here. I don't need the glass tonight because tonight there's no script, there's no plan. We're just gonna free ball it, so to speak, since I made the front page of the newspaper again. And I just gotta say, y'all gotta be starving in this town for some news. Like, it's crazy. I'm gonna see. I wish what I could do is somehow take this. I wonder if I can. Let me just see. Yeah. I wanted to take my screen and move it over so I could actually see big screen and see the word still, but whatever. It's different just looking at me instead of the script that I usually have up. So yeah, I made the paper again. These people can't get enough of me. And the front page of all things, my daughter's coming to me, goes, my friends are arguing with me one side or the other. Do I take Ray's side or my dad's side? And my daughter goes, of course I take my dad's side. Well, I hope so. I don't listen, folks. I don't know there needs to be a side. You guys, everybody's out here arguing one way or the other about what I did, what I didn't do. Let's make tonight about a retelling. Okay, let's retell the story of Aaron and the city of Lorain. So we'll go back to the beginning, just for those that don't know, that need the education, because people are always saying, well, explain it to me, explain it to me, explain it to me. Well, my ADHD is going crazy tonight. I'm a little anxious. I'd like to explain something to somebody. So we're gonna do that tonight, and feel free to ask questions. I'll do what I can to answer them. That's why I kind of wanted to have the. It's just yeah. So that's why I wanted to kind of have the comments up today and just kind of talk about this stuff. For right now, I'm gonna pull up my screen full size so I can see the comments at least pop up, and then if you see me grab my glasses, that's why I'm grabbing my glasses. And yeah, for those that commented on the last one, I know alcohol is not my friend. That's why I'm at home. Alcohol is not any of your friends. Alcohol loosens the lips. It makes us talk. It makes us say things. But that's the reason why most of you guys in Lorain don't actually like me, is because I do talk and I tell the truth. So for those that didn't know it, like, all we're doing right now is getting to the end of my opus. This has been my opus since the beginning. I didn't know that that's what it was. I came here to be a social worker in juvenile, well, not even in juvenile justice, just to be a social worker. I just wanted to be a productive member of society. Went, I met a girl from my past, came here to Lorain, Ohio because I was living in Avon Lake and I wanted to live close to her, but I couldn't afford a $500,000 house. So I bought a house that was close to Avon Lake in Lorain in the south side. And, the relationship obviously didn't work out. We went separate ways because she said she couldn't be dating somebody that lived in Lorain. Now, that was my first understanding of what it meant to be someone living in Lorain. Let that sink in. Somebody who I loved dearly said, I can't be with you because you bought a house there. That blew my mind. I didn't realize one town could be so bad. Full of so many people that were disliked, full of whatever was going on. So we end up in a different scenario. And now I'm living here, but I graduate from OSU. I also went to OSU. I get my degree. I do my thing. Everything's great. And I end up in Crossroads working for juvenile justice. And I loved it. Like, I liked working there. I enjoyed working with the kids. I enjoyed helping the community out. I enjoyed helping the courts out. I did what I did. And I had some run-ins with law enforcement here locally, and I did what I was supposed to do, which is, you see a problem, you try to fix it. You make complaints, sure, whatever. My complaints were never meant to go any further than the chief. The initial complaints I were making were fix-it complaints, like a fix-it ticket, right? Hey, your light's out. Hey, your whatever's out. And I get it. I'm an obnoxious prick. Everybody hates the know-it-all. Well, but I do try to know it all. I know I don't, because a wise man knows he's wise only because he knows nothing. But I try to know and be educated on as many things as possible. And I don't think that's a fault. I think that's a benefit to me and to anyone that knows me that needs the information. But the people here have taken to belittling that rather than striving to achieve it. I feel like I'm at the pinnacle of my knowledge. I'm 51 years old, 52, I think. Anyway, I'm in my 50s. And by the time you get to that stage in your life, for those of you that are in your 50s, you realize, like, you don't really have the patience for a lot of bullshit. And on the same tone, if you're Gen X like me, you did fuck around and find out. That's why I can't fuck around and find out now. Everybody thinks I'm going to be aggressive or I'm going to do this or they're scared. Nobody's scared of me. Nobody needs a protection order from me. I mean, this is the hilarity of what goes on. So Tia Hilton, the person that hates my guts, that says she's scared as fuck of me, will go and send me random messages telling me to fuck off, or she'll send me lube in prison or whatever. And I don't care about, some lady that's got herpes on her mouth, running around and talking about me. I don't care that she went to a polling place and did it and the police did nothing. I don't care that she supported Angel, who also went to a polling place and confronted me illegally and they did nothing. But that's okay, because I didn't really want the job to begin with. I have ADHD. I wanted to run. I wanted to be a part of my community and do the right thing. But I didn't necessarily want to have to do what I knew I would do. If with ADHD, once I got in, I would have just done the job. I would have done every council person's job. I would have written every law. That I would have volunteered for every community meeting. I would have done everything. I know me. I've seen me do it. I've done it for people that have come to me. I want to help. I want to make people feel good. And so I'm going to do it if you elect me. So it's a good thing for my mental health that you didn't. The cool thing about all of this stuff is I get to work in juvenile justice and I'm making these complaints, little ones that my daughter manages to get me into because, she is a kid and they get you interactions with people. And unfortunately, sometimes those people were randomly law enforcement. And I was like, hey, you can't talk to people that way. You can't deal with people that way. Now, the people in Lorain, they educated me quickly. They said, you can't do that. They said, you fight City Hall, you fight the police, you're going to lose. And they're kind of looking at me right now going, and they're not wrong. I get it. I knew this was coming. I knew that what I was doing would sooner or later get them so upset that they would do something irrational. Now, if you're a human being out there in Lorain land and you believe that Ray Carrion is scared of me, then you're an absolute utter moron. anybody that was scared of someone doesn't come at them the way he did that day. And again, if you go look at all the filings I've filed, which of course you don't read anything because that would be just way too freaking hard, right? I challenge you to read anything everybody's, oh, I don't got time to read that. I know you don't because you're too busy wasting your brain away on some sitcom or some dumbass Beverly, Housewives, whatever it is that, is famous and popular right now. And now I really sound like an old man. But that's okay too, because that's the stage that I'm at. I'm supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be doing that. For those of you in your 20s and 30s and even 40s, you're supposed to be looking at my 50-year-old ass and going, fuck you, old man. I get it. And my job is to say, nah, 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 nah. That way, when you turn 50, you can do the same. This is what you have to look forward to. Nah, 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 nah. Anyway. Bottom line is that I did what I was supposed to do. I followed the social work code of ethics, made some complaints. I didn't realize you guys had a son of a bitch vindictive police chief who was a homophobic piece of shit who was also racist. That's fine. I said I was going to get rid of him. I did. Mission accomplished. In the process, he destroyed my career, destroyed my ability to get work, destroyed everything because Applewood is everything in Lorain. They own everything. They contract with every juvenile justice contract and every justice contract. Applewood has Lorain and Cleveland on lockdown. And they also are a party to dual side of what's that other one? There's another company out there that they share. One of them's union, one of them's not. Now, Applewood's not union. The other one is. And when I was at Applewood, I remember helping my supervisor get signs to tell the union reps they couldn't come over. And I helped figuring out everything about how to fight that thing coming over to our side because that's what I was told to do, and I'm a good soldier. So here I am doing all this stuff, all the while Police Chief McCann's working behind the scenes to get rid of me. I have all the evidence. That's not in doubt. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't care what you call me, unhinged, whatever. Like, I just don't care. Why do you think I give a shit about people's opinion? Especially uninformed, unintelligent people. Now, if you're informed and intelligent and you come to me with a conversation that we're going to have, I'm great. But if you're just like, fuck you, I believe whatever they sold me, you shouldn't even believe whatever I sell you. Like, you got to make decisions on your own, people. You got to come to your own conclusions. You got to read your own books. You got to educate yourself. I can't do it for you. They can't do it for you. And then you come out and decide which side you're on. I don't even try to influence my own child, who obviously is yelling, I'm a great bootlicker on the side of the road as the cops are violating my civil rights. Yay. So, here we sit dealing with this, and they're losing. So they have to drum something up. So we see the Angel Arroyo stuff come up about, Puerto Ricans. And of course they want to, they've been trying to sell this thing about Puerto Ricans and me being, negative to Hispanic people for a minute now. And I'm not. My daughter's mom is Hispanic. Again, I've explained that. I don't have any problems with Hispanic people. In fact, I'm single. So, I mean, if, any of you hot mamas want to, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, like, I'm not racist. There's zero chance I'm racist. Black, white, brown, yellow. Love everybody when it comes to that. Like, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your race is. I just care how you conduct yourself as a human being. That's always been my case. That's always felt like my mom's a Democrat from California. I was raised in California. I'm sorry. I honestly feel like most of Ohio is way more intolerant than they are tolerant. I've seen nothing but hatred towards the LGBTQ community. I've seen the way people treat African Americans here. I've seen the way people treat Hispanics here. And it's kind of disgusting. Just to be honest. Like, I may be a lot of things, but a racist I'm not. So I figured they were going to, try to ring this Angel stuff on me, but everybody figured Angel did it to himself. And when you look at the handwriting, it looks like it. Like, first off, if I'm going to commit a hate crime, I'm going to do it with proper English, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to write it in an appropriate way. I would never, ever, 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 ever do that. Ever. But when you present yourself a certain way, and I've said this 1,000 times, that's how you come off. I get it. When I go into public at this city council meeting, I yell, I cuss, I fuck this, fuck that, fuck these people, whatever, right? That's for the show. That's for you guys watching on the internet. Otherwise, I sit right over here in this chair and I play video games. But I also understand that stress testing rights is important. I know that James McCann took away my ability to work, so why wouldn't I at least try to still do something that benefits my society? And supporting the Constitution is my bag. I thought when I got Mr. Fowling in there that we would have a different outcome, but I guess not. Fowling's a product of the same enforcement agency that created McCann, that's created these other officers. And it just goes to show, even when you have the upper hand, when they stopped me for that warrant, they still fucked it up. Think about that. And I can tell that from the second that they pulled me over, I knew everything was wrong. All right. So you said I didn't turn my right blinker on before I got into the lane, before I shifted lanes. I get it. You probably got me on that. Like, legit. Nobody does there. Legit, I got to be better about that. So I will. But everybody else is turning there and nobody else is coming that direction. You're not impeding traffic there by shifting to that outside lane once you get there without flipping your blinker from left back to right, because that's what it would entail. You're already in the left blinker mode. So you're in the turn lane, you turn it on left blinker. As you're turning, your blinker shuts off. Now you got to flip it back up to right to get into that outside lane, which is a tight curve because the way they have that cement blocker there. But whatever, I digress. So I'm taking my daughter to therapy. You pull in behind me. You light me up. I immediately pull over. You tell me it's a lane change issue. You tell me you're scared. All the while you're sitting with your little fat cop ass out there in the middle of the road, not giving two fucks, not flinching, not feeling no fear whatsoever. But you're fearful because you don't want to get hit. I get it. Really, why don't you just say the truth? Look, we got a warrant for your phone, and we're going to take it. No, we're chicken shits. We're going to pull you out of the car because we're really hoping that you've got something else we can drum up on you, right? A gun, a weapon, drugs, ammunition, the Kennedy files, things that police can't find, an honest answer, probable cause, stuff like that. Intelligence. They turned me from a bootlicker in California who loved the police into a guy that says, fuck you, pig, to their face. And he gets mad and goes, why are you talking to me that way? Well, because I can't, because it's constitutional protected language. Because again, I don't understand why everyone else thinks that I have to conform to your standards. Everyone's so appalled by my language, the judge and everyone else. I was chastised by jurists for language. Yeah, I know. I thank you so much, Chronicle, for putting stuff like that in the paper. You guys just help the narrative that's going to get me paid when we're all done. And that's what it's going to turn out to at this point, folks. I tried to help, and all you did was fuck me. So now it's just going to be I get paid. Yes, that's what it's going to be. Be mad as you want. I'm going to get paid because that's the only way you hold the government accountable. You don't hold them accountable unless they either admit their fault or I get paid. So, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Again, admit your fault. And I won't get paid. Publicly apologize to me. Take it all back. Bring me up on stage. Shake my hand. Say you're sorry, each and every one of you. But you got to get McCann to do it too. And that's where you're going to fail because he's not gonna. Because you guys can't admit your mistakes. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm sorry. I've even apologized multiple times to city officials when I've got it wrong because I don't give a shit. Even my mother, who finally got a hold of me today, who was concerned because she couldn't get a hold of me on my phone because, well, I don't fucking have it. And she's elderly in Texas, and it's just me and her. So thank you, City of Lorain, for that. I appreciate you, Jack Bradley and crew, for approving them to steal my phone so I can't communicate with my mom or my family or have my daughter's appointments logged in or really do anything of consequence because you stole my phone. I can't even drive. You guys think I'm stalking Ray Carrion? I couldn't. If I knew where his house was, I couldn't fucking find it. Right now, all I've been able to do is get to my daughter's school. The one time I had to drop her off and back, and I almost got lost coming back. I had to think, where am I at? Because usually I'm just looking at my GPS. I don't know this town like you guys do. So they took away my ability to drive. I can't fucking find my way around anywhere. And I get it. Everyone hates me. Some lady comes online today, Tina Marie, who's never been kind to me. She lives in my area. She's like, I saw you tell a woman to get in the back of your car, and she said no. God, I wish to death that I just said no in that moment. I helped somebody out who was schizophrenic or something to that nature, who was out of state, who was going to be traffic. Got her back here. We did a bunch of shit trying to help her get her everything together, and it got too much. My daughter was getting drug into it, everything, and then she's wanting something, and so she just leaves the house in sub-zero weather and is trying to be difficult. And I'm like, I go down to the store to get something, and she's there. So I'm like, as we're leaving, she says something that she's about to get in a fight with the lady. And so I was like, come on, just get in the car. Just get in the car. Let's go. Let's go. She's like, no, no, no. Well, she finally gets in the car and we leave. Eventually, other stuff happened. She had to check herself in. And that, I'm not going to discuss that any further because that's her mental health and it doesn't deserve to be broadcast. But that's what she was going through in that moment. And we were getting our meds, we were getting her stabilized. But no, Tina Marie wants to say I watched him force a woman into his car. Well, then why didn't you call the cops, bitch? I'm sick of you judgmental fucks. Oh, we hate you, Aaron. Good, I fucking hate you too. You know, I literally got just so sick of some of these people. Like, for example, you know, you gotta you got people that flip flop like nobody's business. And you got people that'll call people out for doing shit that they themselves do. You got a Tia Hilton that will literally get charged for, you know, having guns around her kids and all this stuff and get mad that people talk about, but she'll talk about you, your kids, and anything and anyone. You want to talk about bipolar or schizophrenic? That's one I would diagnose there. 1 minute she's blocked you, the next minute you're unblocked. 1 minute she's messaging you saying, you know, she's gonna fuck you up the ass and then and send off lube and flowers, and then the next minute she's going to a court going, I'm scared. Give me a break. You got a Ray Carrion who 1 minute is yelling at me on the floor of city council. You say something, and then the next minute, I'm scared. I mean, you guys are some confusing bitches here. Not those of you I mean, present company excluded, and anyone watching who honestly, look, if you're a bitch and you know it, then you know wear the shoes. Otherwise, don't believe I'm talking about you because come on. But everybody's scared of these protection orders. They got to go write this stuff. I'm not your enemy. I'm not here to harm, and I'm never going to harm any of you. And the funny thing about all this, and I mentioned it the other night, is that in the process of all this, I got approved for my 100% disability. You know, I'm never going to want again. And the time that I got that approved is when they're saying I supposedly stalked Ray Carrion. Do you think I gave a fuck about Ray Carrion in those days? The first few days were just me spending money. I wasn't going online sending Ray messages. I was spending money on Amazon. Getting all woo, 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 woo. Paid off a couple of credit cards that I was behind on. Caught up on my bills and got online and started buying shit. Okay, that was it. I didn't give two craps about Ray. I was sad to hear that something happened to his father and he passed away, and I made condolences online about it. But Ray Carrion, the person, I'm not here to bother. I'm not here to worry about. I don't care enough about any of these people because they're not in my circle. And anybody that says that they do care is lying because they're not in your circle. Out of sight, out of mind. If they're not in your circle, why would you care? If they're not somebody you're dealing with, that you have breakfast with them, no. I care about what happens to Garen. I care what happens to Bob, my brother, my kid, my neighbors, Mike, you know. The adequately named Alexes, you know, people that stop by and check on me, people that check in on me. Amber Joy checks in on me, doesn't judge me for my decisions, and I don't judge her for what she says or does. That's how these things work. That's how friendship works. That's how everything works. But you guys do not understand that. And so we go back to, you know, where I started. Here I am working at Crossroads. I'm doing all of this stuff. And a chief gets mad and he starts coming after me like nobody's business. Yeah, you're right. I probably should do a few more audits. The thing is that the one thing that I have an issue with is the one thing that keeps me from doing what they think I'm doing. I have PTSD, okay? Like, I like my dog with me, but I don't like bringing her to City Hall because it's an aggravating environment and she feeds off that energy and I know what it feels like. And also, I've been mistreated with my service dog. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy down there yelling and holding them accountable. I have no desire to be that guy. I am that guy because I've been forced to be that guy. I don't want to be an auditor. I don't want this channel. I don't want this YouTube. I don't want this news. I don't want to have to be the one putting out the news. I want the Chronicle to do it. I want the Lorraine Daily to do it. I want anyone but fucking Aaron to do it. I want anyone but Aaron to hold the government accountable. I want anyone but Aaron to go to City Hall and film them. I am happy that they took my phone. You know what that means? I don't talk to anybody. I have phone anxiety. Yet my phone blows up all the time because people want me to help them do what I do, but I can't help them be me. You can't be me. I mean, for God's sakes, if you're me, I'm going to tell you to get therapy. And I get it, how contradictory that sounds to people. I mean, but again, it's contradictory everything we're doing here. Like on one hand, you got a Ray Carrion who will go and get a restraining order against me and say, I know Aaron has PTSD. He gets triggered. When he gets triggered, he becomes angry, this, that, and the other, and he owns guns. Okay, so now you acknowledge I own guns, which you didn't want to do in the gun case. Now you acknowledge that I have PTSD, which somehow you didn't know before. So if you know I have PTSD, if you know that I'm triggered, and if you're claiming that I become angry and aggressive when I am triggered, then why the fuck would you trigger me? I mean, again, you guys support veterans, right? And if my paperwork says disabled veteran, don't fucking trigger him. And then your safety service director, after being told for 2 years straight not to do something, who wrote an email just a year and a half prior that says we need to find a way to get rid of this guy, does exactly that, and then I'm the guy that's the problem. Your machismo Ray Carrion gets in my face. I mean, a guy that's so scared of me that he needs a protection order, yet I've got video clips of his bitch ass right here. Then you got Officer Galenas doing his fucking thing, making up lies about people. What you do a fucking internal investigation and decide I somehow sent those messages to fucking what's his name? Arroyo. And that I'm somehow angry against Puerto Ricans, which I'm not. I mean, again, I have zero issue with Puerto Ricans. If I was going to be racist in any sort of way as a veteran of the Gulf War, I feel like I would be racist against Muslims, but I'm not. I'm not racist against anybody, because why be angry at a particular group, cult, sect, religion, anything? We're all humans. I don't really give a shit. I really don't. My mom asked me tonight, like, aren't you scared? No, I should be. I should be scared of what the Lorraine police did to me when they pulled me over. I should be stopping what I'm doing. But if I am what they say I am, if I do have PTSD, if I am a veteran who is driven by my goals, and my goals are righteous in their nature, then isn't by their very argument, are they not defeating their own choices? So you guys are okay with the city of Lorraine's government, after being told for 2 years straight that I have certain issues, and if you do certain things, these things will happen. You're okay with them doing that. You're okay with Carissa lying because they put it in the paper. They fucking slandered me. Carissa reported that I walked into the door and put my foot down. No, I was walking through the fucking door when the door hit my foot. You lying, but how would you even know? You weren't even looking at me. You were looking right at Ray. The video shows it. You were looking up at your little hero like this. So, I mean, I don't know what you're bitching about. I mean, you definitely weren't blocked. Your eyesight wasn't blocked by your hair, right? You got a haircut like mine. So you lied. Carissa Wytalk, reporter for the... And I noticed you guys changed the title. I mean, initially it was her reporting it, and then you changed it to Dave. Yeah, because you want to retain some bearing of journalistic integrity, which you lack completely. because you tell the story from only one side every fucking time. You didn't say anything about the story when I first won, right? You waited until they brought this protection order out to write it. That's how you know chicken shit the paper is. I mean, this is the same paper that sent me a cease and desist when I asked, I used one of their pictures, Mr. What's his face's pictures, who again, the court still hasn't addressed the fact that they illegally have used my picture in their paper now twice. Expect papers, folks. Like that's it. That's where we're at now. Oh, boo-hoo. No one's going to like Aaron. Oh, well. Aaron sits there and plays his freaking Call of Duty. He does what he does. I don't need to go harass people in the community. I don't need to bother people in the community. I was getting what I needed to get done. And in the process, the city of Lorain ended up putting me on permanent disability. So, in the grand scheme, thank you for finally solving all of my lifelong problems financially and everything. Paying for my kids' college, everything. I appreciate you for pushing that. Because we were on the cusp, because I was fighting it. I was trying to stay relevant and employable. Went back to school. The government paid for all of that. And the city of Lorain shit on it. They say they want mental health, but they don't. They say they want help, but they don't. What they're scared of is that what I know. And again, I know a lot. And it's not on that phone. Just saying. I know you guys think you pulled the coup de grace when you grabbed my phone, but there's nothing on it. Why would I be dumb enough to put anything incriminating on that phone, knowing that you guys were eventually going to come do this? I mean, I even told Bob when you did it, well, just the timeline's a little sooner than I thought. The fact that you guys did it the way you did it was ridiculous and stupid. The fact that you violated your own policies. And I told you that on the side of the road. Your body cam's going to show that. I said your own policy book states you must show me the warrant and let me read it. And you denied that. But yet Section 311 says exactly that, I believe. Or maybe it's the one after that. I know this because I read your policy manuals that are online. I know you guys didn't, because God forbid you actually read the police policy manual when you work for the police, right? You guys are too busy patting yourselves on the back and sucking each other's buttholes to actually do some real training for the ones that I've stood up for. And you guys still, I mean, again, you know me, Baez. You stood up. I stood up for you. You're going to stand by and work for an agency that allows this to happen to somebody that you know? I mean, again, do you think I went after Carrie Ann, or do you think this is another scenario where someone like Demakia, who you reported, is effectively doing something within the police force? And I know you're not going to say anything there, Miguel. I know you won't say anything now. But just remember, I had your back. And again, same guy involved, Demakia. Same guy involved, Ray Carrion. Same guys. All we did was switch one McCann for another in fouling. Just one's a little bigger, taller, darker, and slower. I don't know what to tell you. I don't give two shits about Ray Carrion. In fact, I could walk away from all this right now. I could tell the entire city of Lorain and its citizenry to go fuck itself and not give two shits. Then what? Then you get continued to be bullied and knuckled under by the same fucking government that's been doing it for decades. Then I go to the post office and I talk to people, random people who say, well, you just can't fight City Hall. All the names are the same. Everyone's related. That's what they think about you guys. And that's what the whole populace feels. So here's a thought, city of Lorain, stop being a bunch of chicken shit little bitches and stand up for yourselves instead of making me do it. How about that? For everybody that comes into my feed and yells at me and tells me to fuck off and I'm not wanted here, well, fuck you. Maybe I will just leave. Then what? You're still stuck here. I can go where I want. I have the money. I'm going to get paid for the rest of my life, tax-free, because I served you to have the right to treat me like shit. So if you don't like it, then do it yourselves. I beg of you to do it yourselves. That's what I've been trying to do. And I say all that to segue into this. Like, I do love my town. I bought a home here. My daughter goes to school here. I want to leave her something good here. What I don't want is to have her seeing me just lay down and let these people run over me so that I create another generation of Lorrainites who allows their government to shit on them. What they really want to do, folks, is they want to make this area so poor, so bad that they can get so many government subsidies. And the reason why they're so mad at me is part of what I've been looking into is they're buying up all these lands through other people like Giardini and everyone else. They're all landowners, Reeser. They're all doing these projects, right? And everyone ties back in. Look at, they all tie back in. Riddell's got construction. Dave Moore's got this stuff. He's in mortgage. He's in this. They're all tied into something. They all know one another. They've all been circle jerking each other at their stupid little meetings out in the woods where they dress in animal rabbit hats and dance around the fire, Momo cum laude or whatever. But that's what's going on here. And you guys have been just getting led blindly into it. And yet here I am writing every story in the book. And again, if I'm so wrong, they would have sued me. I'm not wrong. They're suing me for this because it's the only thing they can get me on. Because this is what it's going to look like when you look at the whole picture that the Chronicle doesn't want to look at. Civil court makes verbal statements in violation, arguably, of the law, but still decides to side with me. Plaintiffs or defendants then take the statements of the civil court prior to the win and state, look, I would state this, this, and this, because again, they got the transcripts. They didn't come with the order. Those, then they leave the one process of court that we're in to go to another process of court that we're in. And in the process, they get that court to open up a protection order against me. So again, they're still trying to fight this. But the problem is that then that order comes out. Then that court looks bad. Well, now you base that protection order off what they said, not what the outcome was. That's bad. So, oh shit, now we're really screwed. So what do? Now you get two chiefs, Amherst and Lorain, to meet with Captain Galinas to drum up some sort of charge against Aaron Knapp, where somehow I'm guilty of telecommunications harassment and the phones supposedly being the burglary tools, which again, not the case. And you morons couldn't fuck your way out of a wet paper bag are not going to get me on that bullshit charge. You don't even fucking know what metadata is. I'm from the Bay Area, dude. If I wanted to do that, I would have done it. And I would have done it with something other than my phone. I would have bought a flip phone. I would have bought another phone. I'm not that. What kind of moron uses their own iPhone to harass a sitting, whatever the fuck, safety director or whatever? Come on. That's not in my cards. And especially not after I just found out that I was getting paid my full disability, knowing that I was set for life. The whole thing that I've been fighting about since day one was they stole my career and I couldn't afford to feed my kid. So what? And the 2 weeks after I found out I could never had to worry about that again, suddenly I was so obsessed with Ray fucking Carrion that I wanted to go after him and try to harass him during the time that he wasn't even around while he was on vacation. And apparently his father passed away. Really? That's the heartless motherfucker that you think I am. And you also believe that I would be willing to fucking do that, especially if I'm a narcissist, like you say, after I got all my money. Why would I give a fuck? Honestly, I've written less stories. I've been online less. Don't you notice? All the city of Lorain did was keep this alive longer. Had they just waited a couple more weeks, I would have been off in Boca fucking Raton, retired, not giving two fucks. But no, they had to poke the bear one last fucking time. So now you get what you get. And again, for those saying, oh, well, he said this, I said it to Nikki under my breath, I'm going to fuck these people up. I'll say it now, I'm going to fuck these people up. I'm doing it right now. Right here at this desk like I always do. Fucking you up, fucking you up, fucking you up. Not fucking you up. Like, I don't do that. I'm not violent. Like, I can't. Why would I want to hurt somebody that I physically? There's a much better way to exact whatever it is that you think I'm trying to exact. And it's not justice. It's not revenge. It's equality. I want everyone to be treated the same. But that hasn't been the case since day one. Cops think they're better than you. They pulled me over illegally. I wrote it out on my paperwork. They drummed up a stop. They violated their own policy. They didn't give me the warrant. They treated me like shit. They were hoping to drum up a reason. They hoped I had a gun. They hoped I had something that I could get in trouble for so they could drum something more up to go after me. That's all that was. And I just said to them on the side of the road, you'll see it in the body cam when it finally comes out. Look, guys, that's all I want you to admit. Just give me a fucking reach around. That's it. Give me a reach around. Don't act like I'm stupid. Don't act like you didn't plan this. You randomly ran into me in an undercover vehicle while you had two undercovers in arguably less than police-ish clothing, although one of them was wearing like a hoodie under his vest. I'm like, really? So they're sitting outside watching, waiting for me to leave because they don't want to serve it like it says at the house during daylight hours. They want to get me when I leave. So I leave to go to my daughter's appointment. They wait till my kid's in my car. Now, they knew my kid was in the car. They saw me fucking around with her at the light. I had my blinker on, I believe. Now, if it turned off when I slid into the left lane, sorry, but that's the left turn lane. We turned left and I slid into the right lane, as everyone always does there. And they pulled me over. Pulled me out in front of my kid. Come up with a reason to search me. The officer that pulled me over, the one with the one that initially came to my window that was scared, man, he got so close, like he was right up against my back. I could feel his body camera pressed against, well, at least I think it was his body camera, pressed against me all hard. And I was like, yo, bro, like, you gonna hug me? Why are you doing that? And then he reached in and grabbed the phone. And again, hadn't identified that he had a warrant. And that's against his policy as well. But, they won't do anything because Chief Fallon's a piece of shit, just like McCann is. They can't write up an officer unless she's blowing a drug dealer in the back of a cop car like Tabitha, right? Then it's a problem for them. But beyond that, they'll let Rivera go out and get fucking trash all your shit and not give a fuck. Hey, those are the blue badges you fucking worship, you bootlickers. They don't give a fuck about you. Fallon with his quivering little bitch-ass lip. Didn't your wife fucking get into the police database and then get removed as like a dispatcher or something? But you're the chief of police? And you're going to talk to me about integrity? I mean, ridiculous, folks. Ridiculous. You talk to me about, you shouldn't drink. Well, neither should AJ Mathewson, but he still does. Neither should Rivera. But he did it, and he drove the fuck home in one of our patrol vehicles, and you didn't care about that, but you suddenly care about me when I'm suing the shit out of you on 4 different fronts, and I've defeated you on every single court case you've ever come after me on. Suddenly you're magically offended by me, and you're trying to get a protection order against a guy that never leaves his house, who's 100% disabled, permanent and stationary, who has no physical ability to harm you whatsoever. You're going to go to the courts, and you're going to tell the courts that I pose some sort of serious threat against you, that I'm a psychopath. Have you ever seen me with a gun? Have I ever posted a picture of a gun or online with a gun? Do you even know I have guns? I mean, you say I'm a self-proclaimed gun owner, but according to Judge Bremke, I don't establish enough standing to prove I'm a gun owner because I haven't proven anything. I must get arrested to get standing. So they taught me, Judge Bremke taught me, you must get arrested to get standing. Okay, here we are. Been trying to get standing for a while. Instead, the question that we're going to answer when I come back here, if I'm going to take a break real quick, but the question I want to talk about when we come back is how this plays out. People, other news agencies other than the Chronicle who, aren't blowing the Lorain police, getting special access, have asked, well, we can't find the protection order online. Well, of course you can't, because the Chronicle gets slipped everything underneath, like a girl at a Cosby party gets slipped a roofie. They get everything. Lorain, Daily, and every other agency has to work for it, right? They have to rub some balls to get that kind of info and insight. But what we're going to talk about when we come back is how that progressed and exactly how wrong it is and the way that they're doing it and why they can't find it, because one's criminal, one's quasi-criminal, and then they have the civil case going. So they've tried to adjudicate in 3 different courts, really, even though 2 of them are the same magistrate, which is problematic for them in general. And I'm giving legal advice here. I'm just stating out loud my knowledge of the law. And again, I read it in a book because I'm boring like that. I mean, I just finally finished that new Scarlett Johansson dinosaur movie, and I couldn't even watch most of it. I just looked away and had the headphones on. I still couldn't tell you what happened in half of it. I was boring as fuck. I'd rather be here doing this. I'd rather be reading. I'd rather be back there reading that, listening to a podcast, watching a documentary. I thought I'd like it because it was dinosaurs, but not real dinosaurs. One of them looked like it was the Return of the Jedi. I mean, literally, you tell me that little big-headed dude coming through the gate with the gate that literally was the exact same gate from Return of the Jedi, and it's like they reused the same damn scene and just put Scarlett Johansson in place of Luke Skywalker. But I digress. Oops, sorry. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. Thank you guys for tuning in right now. And, if you have some questions, throw them in the chat. I'll try to answer them when I come back. So, first off, we're going to do... Just so you guys know, now more than ever. I was 46 minutes in only. I would have usually done a break in an hour. I had some glasses weren't on, so I thought it was an hour and 46. It's more important than ever now for you guys to go to city council meetings. It can't always be me, folks. I mean, this is how they separate us. This is how they do it. So you want to make a splash, go to these city council meetings and make your presence known. Go there with your phones and record. Go there and be there and ask questions of them. Don't let me be the only one. That's how you honor what I'm doing. I mean, not by donating, which you could do, but, to the law firm, or I guess the lawyer front at this point, because I'm going to become Lorain County's new Sean Paul Reyes, apparently. And they're just going to track me down wherever they go. And for those of you that say they don't know who you are, they know exactly who I am. I walked up on a random cop one day that my daughter had an interaction with at the in between Southview Middle and Helen Steiner. And I walked up to the car, and the first thing the cop said was, "Good afternoon, Mr. Knapp." So, yeah, apparently, Tina Marie sees me at the mini mart and talks shit about my interactions with people that I'm trying to help. And then says, nothing to me in public. So you motherfuckers see me walking around. You talk all your shit about what you can and can't do and what you do and don't see. But you don't say shit until you get online. I get it. I have said out loud multiple times to Patrick Corney. He says, "Oh, they're mean to me online." You're an asshole too online, dude. So, your little station wagon security guard having ass can run your mouth all you want, bro. I remember a point when you were like, "Thank you for your service," but apparently you fucking forgot that, right? Yeah, you forgot that, didn't you? Like most cowards, you forget. But I get you. I got your back like I always have. Like I've had all your backs. I served so you wouldn't have to. But that doesn't mean you get to shit on me now. And now that I don't have to worry about my reputation for work anymore, even though I couldn't because they destroyed it, now knowing exactly where I stand financially for the rest of my life, knowing that the money I make will never be able to be taken because it's a veteran's pension. My home will never be able to take it because it's a veteran's home. And my bank account can't be touched because it's a veteran's pension. And you guys are fucking with a disabled vet. That's it. Jack Bradley, City of Lorain, all of you. You're right. I'm not. Ray Curran would hurt me. He's a big, bad, vicious young man, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know how old he is. But I'm not here to have a physical altercation with Ray. I was trying to have a conversation with the man, but apparently we can't do that, Lorraine, right? We can't have actual physical conversations. We just have to have physical conversations. So I want to remind you, make sure you go. City Council. I'm going to play the ad. I'm going to play some music, and then we'll be back. Hey there, folks. Aaron here at Unplugged with Aaron Knapp. I want to give you a quick reminder for everyone watching that the City of Lorain holds its regular City Council meetings on the first and third Monday of every month. And those meetings are not just for council members. They are for residents. If you care about what happens in your city, and if you speak or want to speak on an issue, ask a question, or simply be present and informed, showing up matters. Participation matters. Even sitting in the room and listening matters. You do not need to be an expert on any of this. You do not need permission to care. You do not need to do anything other than just show up. So check the agenda, folks. Mark your calendar. And if something affects your neighborhood, your family, or your future, take a seat, raise your hand, and make your voice part of the record. Lorain City Council, first and third Monday. Your city, your meetings. Those council meetings start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they're held inside of City Hall. Make sure you attend this Monday's meeting. Hey there, folks.
Down to all of our departments and assure that as part of our regular checklist that we have for many projects, that we can visit this. This is not a common area because we typically don't waive fees. So it's one of those areas that we'll revisit here as we move along.
Thank you, Mr. Carrion.
Anything? Say something?
Then why are we?
Say something?
Then why are we?
Mr.
You want to get
Carrion.
an attitude? You work for me, Carry On. Yeah, get it. Do it.
Mr. Knapp, let's have it.
No, your employee is addressing me, sir.
Safe.
No.
Excuse me, President Arredondo.
Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polish decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask. Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polish decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask. Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polish decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask.
So, welcome back, guys. I appreciate you sitting through that little set of advertisements there for our sponsors and non-sponsors alike. I mean, I ask you again, what's more likely? That disabled veteran guy who just got a fat check in his checking account decided to spend that time stalking a guy that just got in his face like a freak in a hallway. And again, we can talk about this all day long. Carissa said, oh, you put his foot in the door. Bitch, I was walking through the door. I mean, how would you see over Ray? Ray literally walked past you. Once he got on the other side of you, he was blocking the view from me, you fucking hobbit. You were it was like you were looking up the Mount Doom trying to say you could see in the hole on the top. Not going to happen. So go back to the yellow brick road, man. Find the Lollipop Guild, figure the fuck out. But there's no way you saw that from your angle. My video shows Ray walking up and blocking the sun out for me and you. So, bitch, you lying. I say it out loud right now. Bitch, you lying. Carissa White Talk, bitch, you lying. Bitch, you lying. As sure as you be doing other stuff with ladies, you be lying. I guarantee you be lying. And I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't have to worry about what people think about me. Not that it mattered before, because everybody prejudged me that didn't know me. Anybody that's willing to believe that I would say a bad thing about Hispanics or Puerto Ricans doesn't fucking know me. The fact that people were online suggesting I would say that about Angel's ass is just ridiculous. I mean, Angel is a train wreck in himself. He won the election because I didn't try. I mean, think about that. I got a third of the vote or whatever it was, like, or maybe it was a quarter. I don't know. It was, without even trying. I didn't try to win that election. Say what you want about how bad. I just wanted the experience of running. As many people with ADHD do. We're like, hey, I want to put all this effort in, but then when we get in the middle of it, we're like, there's a lot of work. I don't necessarily want to do this. Now, in the process, I was working on my disability. I'd been working on it since McCann had gotten me fired from Crossroads, because it did exacerbate my condition greatly. And you can count on the city of Lorain to do one thing: continue its stupid ways. And it did. For anybody that says, oh, he went and acted, he was unhinged at City Hall, he was this, he was that. Well, I have a right to be that way there. I don't do that other places. I do it in public spaces. I'll do it at the, a town square, a town hall. That's stress testing. That's how you stress test your rights. I don't do it anywhere else. Now, and I've got proof, because I had emails from Ray where he's mentioning having seen me at all kinds of events, and I've never once accosted or confronted him. And that's true. He literally, there's a video out there of him advertising for one of the booths. He walks around me, back around me, my dog's there, doesn't even speak to me. Pretends like I'm not even there. But he's scared of me. That's the part that doesn't make sense. And here's the part I have an issue with. For all you machismo motherfuckers online talking shit to me, you sure are little bitches that bitch about the court a lot, but then have no problem when Ray runs to the court like a little bitch to get his restraining order. I'm not a threat to him. I don't care about him or any of you enough to be a threat to any of you. I wouldn't jeopardize myself or my pension for that. I'm not going to go to jail for him in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't mean enough to me. Bradley doesn't mean enough to me. These are just a bunch of old-ass men that have been trying to climb their way up the fucking corporate ladder that is Lorain. They have been, the authenticators of sewer lawsuits and water lawsuits. Bradley has stood over some of the biggest travesties in Lorain County with Amber Smith's mom. And again, everyone knows the rampant rumors supposedly about him, But yeah, I mean, everyone knows that his wife walked up to a certain person at a certain dinner and said, won't be long till my husband's next as far as being indicted. Because again, we all know everybody's got something on somebody in Lorain. That's why they're mad at me. They need something on me. So they're going to make me either into the racist or the sexist or the pedophile, whatever works, right? Like they did with Dennis Flores. They made him into some sort of pervert. That's the Lorain way. Okay, so imagine getting called that by the Lorain Police Department, who are playing fuck games left and right. And again, you guys want me to act like I don't know anything, but I've been tied to some pretty big names in Lorain County too, from the sheriff to, people within the Lorain administration that I know. You don't think I didn't gather a few facts during that time and stow away a few fucking cards of my own? Please, for God's sakes, bring me to trial. As my lawyer always says, during the initial trial, when I was my own lawyer, which everybody thought Bob or somebody else wrote that paperwork. Fuck you. I may be an asshole, I may be a dick, but I'm fucking smart smarter than you. I guarantee it. I may not have the personality you have. I may not have your looks. I may not have your style. I may not have your business sense. I may not have your wherewithal. I may not have your family. I may not have the love of your family. I may not have your career. I may not have, a career like James McCann, where he managed with a D high school education to achieve the highest paying job I've ever seen in my life for a chief of police. Kudos to that man for doing what he did with what he had. Give him props for that. Same thing for Ray, man. Worked his way up, did what he had to do. Props for that. And for the individuals getting theirs, get yours. I'm cool with that. Just why do you got to shit on other people getting theirs? Why is it that me writing my stories, I mean, again, you live in Lorain. You know damn well, in the grand scheme of things, nobody would have believed a word I said. They would have just, or even if they did, they would have just gone on because that's just the way Lorain is, right? You give what I say credence by attacking me. You give the people fuel and flame when you martyr me. So imagine if a guy that's been saying all along says, martyr me, martyr me, martyr me, martyr me, martyr me, martyr me, martyr me. You are my public servant. 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 I don't care. You're annoying. I don't care. You're an asshole. I don't care. We don't like you. I don't care. You're never going to be accepted. Guess what's coming next? I don't care. You know, Tina Marie. Oh, he forced a girl in his car. Then why didn't you call the sheriff or the cops? So you watched what you assumed to be a felony kidnapping and you did nothing, bitch. Okay. We got I can't even understand Tia Hilton. Like, all I did was post the stuff from her arrest record, right? That came up on the thing that everyone's been looking at. I didn't talk about her. I haven't, even in any of my podcasts, because she doesn't matter to me. I only was addressing her during the time that I was running for office because she was the lead proponent against me. She was coming to city council meetings and cussing me out, which they were cool with that, right? She can disrupt a meeting. She can tell people to fuck off right to their face, and they're okay with that. But if I say something and suddenly Ray Carry-On's, no, I'm scared. It's so hard being you, Muffin. And crying. Like, do you go home and cry in the bosom of your wife and hold your family close every night because you're in fear of me, the guy that doesn't know where you live, doesn't care where you live, doesn't give two fucks what you do? Again, right now I know you're going through a lot. So I lost my father a while back, and I know how that feels. So I'm not blaming you as much as I'm blaming the powers that be. But Ray, you know damn well as I do that I'm not threatening you, that I haven't come at you. And if you guys are receiving something, if it's not set up by a Jussie Smollett situation, then whoever's doing it is doing it as like counterintelligence to make me look bad. Because why not do that right now when you have a perfect patsy in me? And honestly, so you want everyone out here to believe that a guy that calculatedly did everything that I've done up until now to expose your truths being untruths, to expose you for who you were, that somehow at the very end of my game, I sloppily just did some dumb shit on an iPhone and left it there for you to find, that I just randomly would go out and attack people on something that was so horrible that I knew people would despise me for it. You truly believed that I would go out and make fun of one of the most predominant cultures in Lorain, a culture I've said multiple times I respect. You tried to make me into some Puerto Rican hater when my campaign manager is a Puerto Rican, I should say. And I respect what Puerto Rico's been through. I mean, honestly, America fucked Puerto Rico. In my opinion, almost more than the Native Americans, although we just stole their land. With the Puerto Ricans, we didn't just steal their land. Look at the video I put on my page. It'll tell you everything you need to know. We colonized them. We institutionalized them. The least we can do now is to call them Americans and let them do what they want with their citizenship as they see fit. And maybe we should let them vote for president. But, my daughter being of Hispanic background as well, I'm not gonna sit here and badmouth the Hispanic culture and the Hispanic population. I'm from Bakersfield, California. Like, we have a heavy population of Hispanics there. I'm not gonna badmouth any culture. I've traveled the world. Asian, brown, Hispanic, black, brown, yellow, white, What are the other colors out there? I mean, any of the other shades of people, all of that is pigmentation. What truly matters is the culture and the music and the history and the dialect and the core of a society. Because how you look can be different, right? We can have different people that look different colors. You have Mexicans who are white. That's nationality. I mean, there's multiple factors to look at. I feel like until we can start to get past that, my social work side is going to always say that's wrong. Of all the things you should have picked to attack me on, it shouldn't have been that, because I'm not racist. I'm just not. And if you think I am, leave me in the room with your mom or your sister for a little while. I'll show you how racist I am. I'm not. I don't see. I understand there's inherent racism in everybody, apparently, according to my own studies. That doesn't mean I have to do it or believe in it. And again, coming from a more tolerant area in California, coming out here to Ohio, I honestly, you guys use the N-word and I would never use that word. I don't understand. I literally know. I moved here, I was like, really? Like, you just hot potato that in my lap? I mean, half of you don't even know we fought for the North in the Civil War. But I'm the racist? Come on. I'm glad Angel won the seat that he can barely show up for because he works in Ashtabula. That's not a doubt. I've said that since day one. He's not in here. They pulled him in because I pulled the rug out from him on Antonio Baez. That was one of the first things I did that pissed him off. I got rid of McCann. Then I got rid of Baez. And Baez was Carry-On's boy, right? Baez is married to Carry-On's wife's sister or something like that, right? The tie is right there. I got rid of Baez, so now Carry-On's got to do me in, right? And that's what it's been ever since then. 2 years ago, he wrote an email to Mary Springowski. We got to get rid of this guy, and we're looking for a way to do it. 2 years later, he found it. Say what you want. He found it. Unfortunately, he found it during this time because he found it also during the time when, unfortunately, he's lost a loved one, so the sympathy is big. Then you got Angel Arroyo coming out beforehand. Yeah, Angel Arroyo coming out beforehand and saying, well, someone sent me all this nasty stuff about Puerto Ricans on pads that look similar to Cleveland Clinics, that look similar to what they would use in Ashtabula. And then all these people are saying, well, Jesse Smoltz. I'm like, well, I can't really comment on it. People are already accusing me of this shit, even though I had nothing to do with it. Because, again, that's the dumbest attack. I'm not that stupid. If I'm going to attack you, it's never going to be racial. It's never going to be sexual. It's never going to be any of the things you think it's going to be. And for people that are going, oh, I've seen him do this or seen him do that. I'm human. I drink. I've smoked cigarettes, most of my life. I quit recently. I've smoked marijuana. I'm human. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm not a cop. I'm not a city councilman. I'm not the safety service director. I'm not a city councilman who sat on my front porch. The only person who knows where anyone lives is Ray Carry-On. He knows where I live because he sat on my front porch. I have the video of it. He sat on my front porch and had a conversation about helping me, and he never did. So, I know what he's all about. He doesn't bother me. In the process of the election, there were a couple of people from his community that reached out to me that said some pretty hateful things about him and Arroyo. That it could be those people. I reported one of them, specifically that Manny guy, because he was saying a lot of that similar stuff about Carry-On, and he was effing this and effing these people. And I'm like, look, man, politics is one thing, guys. You have to understand that. We have to separate the two. Carry-On straight up said in emails, I've seen Aaron out and about, or who out and about. And so obviously we've never had any negative. I'm never going to have a negative interaction with you. I may yell in the moment when you're coming at me, but that's a defense mechanism that I made you very well aware of prior to you actually doing what you did. You guys don't want to admit it, but you created the very scenario. Now think about this. If you've got a guy that knows he's triggered and knows he has all these problems, and he comes to you and he just gives it to you. He says, hey, you already went after my friend Garen, and you bullshitted him into some bullshit charge that, as of 2026, oh my God, If you guys want some fun reading, you should look up Oliver v. The City of Brandon, 607 U.S. 2026, just decided case, where it sounds just like what happened to Garen. It's fucking amazing. And I'm like, again, you want belief that I'm not a heavy God guy, but here lately I've been thinking about buying some of St. Jude's metal because the patron saint of lost causes, because a lot of things have been thrown my way lately, a lot of positive Supreme Court decisions, and then they go and do this. Now, yeah, I was bothered that they did it in the beginning, but as I tell everyone in my life, things happen for a reason, things go down for a reason. So the reason why they stopped me, all this had to happen. They had to take my phone. I don't care that they took it, because in the grand scheme, there's nothing on it that's going to incriminate me. I know that. I know that 1,000% because it's my phone. So I didn't do anything wrong. So that means whoever told them this has an axe to grind, or whatever the case may be, or is being offered something, that they were going to find something. The problem is they're not going to find that. And when they don't, then what? So for everybody asking why we can't find the case, well, like I said before the break, that's why. I don't think they brought the criminal charges. I think, so what they have is they did this. They were losing the civil, but they weren't sure of that. They seemed like they had a pretty good thing, right? They had the transcripts where one judge says, hey, this guy's an asshole. And I am. They send that transcript to the other judge or magistrate who reads it and goes, well, this guy's an asshole. I would charge him. So right there, the judge is predisposed to charge me, right? Okay, cool. So, but then the next week, Monday, after I turn on my arguments, that very same judge says, yeah, but this guy's right, though, about everything he said. And he does have a right to say and do all these things. Well, then suddenly that order that they're saying I have to stay to the back of the room and all these other things is challenged and is changed. So now that becomes kind of unconstitutional, but you still enforce it, you still serve it on me. Okay, cool. Because now that's changed. The transcripts changed it all. But if that's their initial evidence for the restraining order is the transcripts, that creates a problem in itself, is that you used an unfinished transcript from a hearing that was not complete to separately adjudicate a matter that was pending before another court. All right. Let's just say that's not illegal and not bad. And let's just say you didn't do something shady right there when you did that. Okay, cool. How about when you then went and got a protection order? Or no, I'm sorry. Rephrase, Your Honor. Redirect. How about when you were able to get a protection order through a secondary court? I'm sorry. Again, apologies. A search warrant for Mr. Knapp's phone on a secondary claim after you had already been told that what he did was legal. And when you got that, how did you convince the judge your affidavit was true? Oh, and why wasn't that affidavit attached to the protection order? I mean, the warrant. So when Mr. Knapp asked you on the side of the road all the right questions, you did fuck up. Because, see, the warrant said, hey, you got to come to his house. You can get me anywhere else, but you have to have a valid reason. Then by making the traffic stop the valid reason and not completing it, you kind of made it, you made up the reason. So now you're busted there. Then you kept me there too long. That's a violation of Rodriguez. Then you search my pockets. That's a violation of Terry v. Ohio. Then by searching my pocket and grabbing the phone and then saying you had a warrant, that's a violation of Lorraine Policy 311, I believe. And then by making me wait there 20 more minutes to get the supervisor's copy, you violated Rodriguez again, as I pointed out. Again, you create more problems every time you do this. Why not just leave me the fuck alone? Why do you guys got to keep retaliating? Oh, well, I have an open federal case, which I haven't moved forward on because I'm just waiting for you to get done jacking off on me. Because that's what it feels like. I mean, that cop the other day, the one that pulled me over in the undercover shitty unit with the paint chips on it, that literally has, these guys are dressed like fucking hillbillies. One of them's wearing Converse and a fucking hoodie. Really, that's Lorraine Policy to let their pit crew or their undercovers ride around looking like dickheads? I got you. You think you're cool. Well, normal people aren't looking for the cops. People don't break the law aren't looking for them, but you're doing you, right? So you got this shit going on. You roll up on me. I see your hippie ass looks. You forced me out of the car, which you did. You forced me under threat of arrest. You threatened me with obstruction charges if I didn't get out of the car. All right. I knew you had something up your sleeves. And then you reach in my kangaroo pocket and steal the phone. You did steal it. Because when you didn't present me with the warrant, you stole my property. It didn't present a threat to you. It wasn't part of the stop. And since you didn't give me the warrant that you had, that you said you were afraid I was going to tear up but wouldn't give me, you violated your own policy. And that's why McCann never wanted me to have the policy book, because once I read it, I memorized it. So you violated your own policy on warrant service and seizures. Warrant service and seizures also require a supervisor to be party to it, to plan it out. You guys didn't plan it out. You did it last minute. You came up with a reason to do it. Then you bullshitted it. Then when I got you there, you kept walking away so you go over and call more and more units until you got 7 there to supervise so you guys could all feel like big men. And then all you little punk ass pigs got around me and circle jerked all over me and said, look, we're going to enforce this on you. We're going to steal your phone. We're going to enforce this on a disabled veteran because we're a bunch of fucking piggy ass pricks. And it takes 7 of us, just like it took 6 or 7 of us at City Hall, because we're scared of a disabled veteran who can barely use his right side. I'm not going to hurt any of you except for your feelings, ever. The fact that you keep coming at me like this is just amazing. The fact that you had all those officers there for me. The fact that Carry-On said in his protection order that I'm a self-admitted firearm owner with mental health issues. And he said PTSD. And then he listed a bunch of other stuff that he doesn't even know what it means. I challenge you, Ray. You're not a mental health professional. I'm not out there trying to tell you, what kind of rocks you use in ground, right? In the ground to make blacktop. So why are you out here fucking with me about my profession? I understand what I have. I have post-traumatic stress disorder, yes. I don't have multiple other conditions that cause psychosis or anything of that nature. Your bullshit statement in the protection order was a lie to the judge. You have no foreknowledge of that, and any knowledge that you have is to your government job, which you failed to mention that that's what this was all about. Oh, and at the end, you also failed to mention that the whole fuck them up statement came well after everyone had left the parking lot, when I was talking to a friend by my car and there were no other government officials present. That kind of changes the tone and the statement in 1,000 different ways. And the way you presented it to the judge wasn't the same. How did you get the warrant? Who did you get to lie about my phone to say that I suddenly was doing something to Ray or whatnot? You know what my phone was doing during that time frame? Shopping on Amazon, which I'm really pissed off you stopped me from doing, because I was trying to spend some goddamn money, get a little shopping therapy in. I don't give a fuck about Ray. I really don't. After seeing those still frames of him in my face smiling at me like that, so close, that man, you want to talk about unhinged. Okay, again, if I'm so unhinged, when he got in my face and smiled like that, wouldn't I have just knocked him the fuck out? If I was going to cause him harm in that moment, wouldn't I have just knocked him the fuck out? I just... So either you're afraid of me or you're going to turn around and get in my face and treat me like a little bitch. I got it. Whichever it is. We'll figure it out as we go, right? Got you, Ray. I'm not a threat to him. I'm not a threat to anyone in his family. I would never harm someone. And again, I know what it feels like to have that over my head. That's how I ended up moving to Idaho. I was a witness in a primary case of an assault in California that I had to flee the whole state from. I would never put someone's family in that kind of position, nor would I encourage anyone to. And in fact, my point would be anybody that is writing emails to him, or if it's not, look, let's just hear me out. Let's say, for an example, Arroyo didn't Jesse Smollett himself, right? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say some jackass decided to send that to him, and they really don't like Puerto Ricans, and they really did write that shit. And they saw, look, this asshole Aaron just lost. They're going to blame him anyway. Why not XYZ? Argument's sake. Maybe Angel truly believes it was me. Maybe he didn't do it to himself. Now, if that's the case, why would you believe that they would stop with him? Why wouldn't they move on to Ray, Sabrina, and all the rest? And if that's the case, then the Democrat statement that they came out with recently is legit. And I know everyone's saying it's not legit, but maybe it is legit. Maybe there is a random person out there that's hating on Puerto Ricans right now. Maybe they truly are upset with Puerto Ricans and these particular Puerto Rican leaders, and they are writing these things and saying these things. And if that's the case, then we need to take that shit seriously, and we need to find them arrest them, and put them in fucking jail. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that's the case. Then yeah, we need to deal with it. But we can't deal with it if everybody's focused on it being me. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to cooperate to make sure they understand whatever they think I've done, I haven't done. I'm not going to cooperate with false warrants being put on my phone that are too broad or vague. I will, however, delete any data that's attached to that phone because of that, because you don't have a very specific warrant saying exactly what you're looking for. I can reinstate said data very easily. I can even give you my phone logs to show you who I have and haven't called. I'm not worried about that. I'm not scared that you're going to find something that I did to any of these people. Do I want to have my words with them in government? Yes. Do I want to give them shit every day that they're in city council on Monday nights from time A to time B and shortly thereafter? Absolutely, because those are the only times it's appropriate. There are emails that exist that show Ray seeing me in public, Mary seeing me in public. They both admitted it. They both see me, and never once, not one time in 5-6 years, whatever it's been, have I ever accosted one of them, said a word to them in public outside of that night at City Hall after I'd been assaulted by a door and by chest bumping. Even if the door wasn't on purpose, which it obviously was. Watch the video without sound and tell me it wasn't. All of them together. Even if it wasn't that, when he chest bumped me, that was assault. I don't give a fuck what you guys say. For a guy that weighs 190 pounds, who has multiple disabilities, who has PTSD, and I've told them 1,000 times that doing stuff like that would aggravate it, and they do just that. If you tell somebody not to touch your dog, and they touch your dog and get bit, what are you going to say? Told you. I have multiple letters. I told Ray. And now he's at the SPCA trying to get that dog euthanized because the person told them up front, don't touch my dog, and he antagonized the dog. That's what's going on here, because they want to get rid of me. Because they don't like anybody that has an alternative view than them. If I'm so wrong, why do you care what I have to say? Why are you trying to stifle me through this means instead of just, I don't know, being men? Because you can't. So, because I said I'm going to fuck these people up at the end of a podcast to a friend. It wasn't even a podcast at the end. I was having a conversation with somebody, and it was on a video that I was shutting down. None of the people that I was even dealing with earlier were present, so nobody had knowledge of it. I left it there for continuity's sake because I don't want people thinking I'm trying to cut videos. And quite frankly, I didn't mean it as a threat, so why would I not leave it there? It's my video. Versus Mayor Bradley saying to me after I flipped him off for the second time, come back and say that to me in 2 years when I'm not mayor. Okay. So is that a threat? And I said it at the time, Mr. Mayor, is that a threat? But they're using that instance in their case, even though the mayor threatened me. They're ignoring the fact that I did get hit with a door, whether Carissa wants to say I put my foot in it or not. Did I get hit with the door or not? Answer the question of this. Why did Ray close the door? An exit door to the city council chambers, one of only 2 doors to exit city council chambers, when there was an available office right behind her. She couldn't see it because, she was too busy following the yellow brick road, but Ray was right behind it. The city clerk's door was wide open. They could have walked in there to have their interview and gotten out of the public walkway. Instead, I got a public door slammed on me in a public walkway as I walked up a public walkway ramp to exit a public building to a public parking lot that is the public's building. They could have left. I stood there with Demakia, knowing that I was feeling a little hot, right? Knowing I'd just been chest bumped, knowing I'd just been hit with a freaking door. My voice was elevated. I went to Fallon, the only law enforcement officer I knew in the building that was supposed to make me feel safe. But instead of making me feel safe, he said, you can just walk right over there and file a report. Well, I know what that feels like. I know when they tell you, did you know when you file a report at the police department, you don't get to just file a report. You have to sit there and wait an hour or two, and they can get an officer in to actually take the report from you. They don't take it from you there. They don't have an officer there that can take it. They have to call one in off the road. That's what you get. So what he was really telling me was, after you sat through an hour and a half meeting, you should sit here for 2 more hours and wait for a call. That's why I didn't want to hear that. Then I go to leave, and I think all these people have left, and they haven't. Oh, right there. So you guys tell me how you would have done it different after having, and again, go look at the picture between Demakia and Carrion. I guarantee you, when Carissa said, and the paper said they separated us, no, they didn't. They kept saying to me, Aaron, it's like stop resisting. When Demakia is like, Aaron, why are you instigating? Why are you this? Why are you that? It's like, I'm just going in the same direction, following my public employee in the public building. Like anyone would to any government official in a public building, in a public hallway. Now, had he walked in that clerk's office and shut the door and I opened that door, different story. Had I followed him to his car door and tried to get in, different story. But people fail to realize in the parking lot, I was 30, 40 feet away from them at all times, saying what I have the right to say. People also fail to realize I have a video of Chief Fowling and Captain Morris telling Jane and Paula within city council that once you get outside in the parking lot, you can yell and cuss and scream as much as you want at public officials. So there's that. Then those same officials went and tried to get a warrant against me, or did get a warrant against me through a civil judge, through a judge handling my civil case. So that's where their problem comes in. Did you file a criminal case, or are you trying to? Or is this because it's a quasi-criminal matter? Because I know what that means because I tried one in Idaho. Either way, you guys got to figure out what you're trying to do. Either you're trying to charge me or you're not, and criminally. And that's important. So what I think is occurring that no one understands, and again, I seem to see what they're going to do hours before they're going to do it, even beyond that of my attorney sometimes, because he's still a good, honest guy that believes that people are going to do the right thing, and I actually know that they're not. So I can see what they're going to do. What they're going to do here is they're using this search warrant and they're going to use the civil whatever as a claim. They get Rothgary to do it because Rothgary's on the civil case. Well, Rothgary has to realize the second he handles it on the civil side that he can no longer handle the criminal or the civil side because he's now biased. Maybe that's how they all recuse themselves. I don't know. All I do know is that now this warrant got issued for my phone, and they will find nothing on it because there's nothing on it. I mean, it's a fairly new phone too with that. I just got it within the last couple of months. And again, not using it for anything nefarious, nor have I ever. Nor do I do anything nefarious. But they need that to drum this up, right? So just after the chief filed an unconstitutional order that arguably could get him removed from being a law enforcement officer because he did this under color of law, just like Captain Lieutenant Thompson, whatever did. So now they double down after I get them on that, and they get the very next day or 2 days later, whenever it was, I think it was Thursday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So by Thursday, they have this new order, right? And now they're trying to make me look bad because they want to keep their jobs. Because the answer is this: either Aaron broke the law or they broke the law. And they're the law investigating who broke the law. So until you get an outside judge, an outside agency, and an outside investigator, any authority that they think they have, I can't submit to. They want to ignore the fact they tried to call me in to snitch myself out in the second one when I gave all of the reports to the guy over in Amherst. They don't want to release me the Amherst stuff. Why were you colluding with the Amherst chief of police? And why is it that you guys are all talking to the county prosecutor to the point where he knows stuff about this? You're all colluded. You're all together. You're all in one nasty mixing pot. You're all a bunch of sons of bitches. And I can say that because it's my right, right? I can be like Afro Man. I can sing songs about, lemon pound cake. I can sing songs about you guys doing dumb shit, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the problem. You guys just don't even care because people just keep voting you in. But that's where we need to change things, and that's where people need to start going. You guys need to start, you want to support me, go and be me. I don't know, print a picture, a piece of paper that says, I am Aaron Knapp, and stick it to your chest and go to a city council meeting and just record, post it online. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Just do that. That's what they fear, the sunlight. Yeah, sure. They fear me because I'm a smart guy and I do a lot of, damage in their mind by making them follow their own rules. But each and every one of you can do the same thing by just supporting, by just showing up, by just putting, that camera, that phone, and turning it around and making them the star of the show. Same thing with the county commissioners. Look at what they're trying to do. They're trying to go after a citizen or citizens, supposedly for spam bombing them or email bombing them. Let me get this straight. You're going to ask the sheriff to do that? Y'all get the irony of that, right? That the commissioners who don't want to give the sheriff their fucking budget is now asking the sheriff to investigate the UAW because the UAW and is mad that the commissioners won't give them their budget. And then what? You're going to send them to the court and the court's going to be like, hey, where's our budget? The fuck, man? You guys are so fucked up. And you're worried about me? Little old me? I mean, first off, I already know how much I've cost them in general funds because I've seen the numbers to Witzka and Herzegovina or whatever, but we don't even have the ones for the other lawsuits. Like, they spent like $5,000 twice, I think, like $10,000 on me already, just in the one case with trying to subpoena me for Garen. Then they spent, another, I think, almost 30 or 40 grand in the other cases. And how is this going to just keep going? All because what? Chief McCann wouldn't say he was sorry. All because, I don't know, Ray Carrion couldn't admit he was wrong. All because, I don't know, our mayor couldn't just be a decent human being. All because you guys don't like that I'm right and you're wrong. And it sucks. I get it. I know back when I could still feel things like that in a way that was emotional currency to me. Right now, I know it's there. I just don't feel it the same way that I did. It doesn't matter to me. But when it did matter to me, I know what that felt like. So I know what it feels like for you guys, the normals that aren't, whatever. But every time they make fun of me, every time they tease me, every time Ray Carrion goes to a court and makes fun of my mental disability without any sort of knowledge whatsoever, while represented by a lawyer that he recently voted to assign money to defend him against a lawsuit in which he and that lawyer are a plaintiff or a defendant in, that I'm the plaintiff in, and you don't want me to put two and two together? You want me to stay on the side of the road with a bunch of fucking pigs who say, well, why would the city or the police have it out for you, Mr. Knapp? Like, incredulous. Dude, do you ever go on Facebook? Ever? Do you know what's going on between me and your chief? Do you understand that? No, they don't. So now here we are. We've got this ridiculous warrant where they got my phone. They're going to get a good goose egg out of that because, again, I've done nothing wrong. I will not stalk Ray Carrion. I will not stalk, Angel Arroyo. I do not like them, Sam I Am. I do not like them on a boat or in a car. I would not write them from afar. I would not write them here or there. I would not write them anywhere. I would not write Ray. I would not write Angel. I would not write them on my computer or on a paper or on a pad with a pen or a pencil, with a typewriter. I would not write him, oh Sam I Am, because I don't like them. I must tell you, I don't like them. I'll honestly admit that out loud. But disliking someone as opposed to sending them racist comments or threatening them or being a total douche nozzle, I'm not that guy. I will tell you straight to your fucking face, I hate your guts. Well, I don't even hate your guts. I don't hate them. I feel sad for them. I don't hate Ray. I don't hate Angel. I don't even know them. I don't know them. I just know when I want to get answers and you ignore me, when you treat me like a second-class citizen and don't respond to my emails when you're my government, my elected officials, and then I get frustrated with you and then you try to charge me with a crime, yeah, I might get a little pissy. But again, that doesn't mean in the grand scheme I'm going to stalk you or harm you. What the fuck would that solve? It would just give me hurt. It makes zero sense. It makes zero reason for me to do that. Quite frankly, I win so much better when I do it this way. And I continue to win when you guys continue to focus on this kind of negative stuff. So, I want to beg of you at this point to think about yourselves and your careers and your lifestyles that you enjoy right now. Instead of focusing on me, focus on catching whoever this imaginary person is or let it go. Because you didn't care when Thornsberry was talking shit about women. You didn't care when, Angel at my election site said that he supported pedophiles because he supports everybody. You guys don't care because you don't care to listen. You just care to hear what they're selling you, and that's fine. I gave you multiple plans. I've had people approach me since the election and say you should run for office. I'd vote for you, but choked on my own spittle. No, I have no desire to represent the people of Lorain in office anymore. You show me what that leads to. Why would I do that? I don't want to get beat up. I don't want to get talked down to. I don't want to get attacked. I don't want to get made fun of. You guys are so kind, so nice, so open, so welcoming. Yeah, why would I want to represent you? Fuck you. I tried. And all I've gotten is shit on in return. Sued, beat up, attacked. Yeah, I sued the government. And I've sued a couple of you because that's what you told me to do. Eventually, you got to put up or shut up. Once those are done, I'm done with you. Again, I got mine. I'm covered for life. My daughter's covered for life. And I found this out before they claimed that I'm supposedly out there stalking Ray. I was too busy shopping for new boots, shirts, and pants to give two fucks about Ray Carrion. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like, I was getting the way poor people get when they get rich, right? We just spend on dumb shit. I needed to have a little dumb shit spending for a minute because I haven't had money in forever, or any sort of income coming in that was relatively reasonable for a human to live off of. Finally, I can feed my kid. Something McCann took away from me, something the city took away from me. So I got it back, and in a way, the city gave it back to me by driving me insane, as they want to call it. So thank you guys for setting me up for life, which is another reason why I wouldn't go after Ray after I got my money. It makes no sense. He helped me get it. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you. You set me for life, man. And COLA will just increase every year. So when I do retire to Texas on my mom's property, and hopefully she'll live forever, but she probably won't. When that happens, I'll leave here happy. And I'll know in my heart of hearts for the rest of my life that it was Ray Carrion and James McCann who helped me get that final 20% of my disability by driving me, to a point where I could no longer work, to the point where the VA recognized that and decided that my PTSD was exasperated to a point where that was that. So thank you for that and for giving me the time to just focus and write stories and do whatever I want and not ever have to worry about how I'm going to feed my family ever again. Thank you. So for that reason, I truly hope you catch the person that's been harassing Ray or Angel, or if it's Angel harassing Ray and Angel, or whatever it is. I hope you catch him. I hope whatever your little manhunt leads to some great times, that you catch some people, you fuck some people up, that you arrest some people, that you get your Lorain vengeance. Because, that guy helped me get my money. Thank you, Ray. Honestly. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, City of Lorain. I never have to worry ever again. I don't have to pay taxes to the City of Lorain. I get my property taxes lowered. All because you guys wanted to beat me down and ruin my mental health. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Jack Bradley, you the man. Ray Carrion, you the man. Honestly, Angel, you the man, because if you hadn't beat me and I got this money, then I'd still have to be working all summer when I could be out riding my motorcycle. And then I'd have to donate the money and do the work for free. So you guys are just keeping me from having to do what I would normally do anyway because of the social work stuff. Now I get to just go out and do me. Take care of my kid, feed my kid, enjoy my life, and not worry about the BS. So again, yeah, when you say, am I not mad that people, well, you guys didn't really talk to me before. You just beat me up in bars, made claims about me, trying to kidnap women in parking lots because you don't fucking know any better and you're ignorant. And again, yes, I say that. I see most of you as children because that's the way you act. And I get it. You see me acting the way I act. That's a show. At City Hall in that video, it's a show for the audience. I can talk like this and be like this anytime I want. I can change the tone anytime I want. Yes, the triggering moment when he hit me with the door and chest bumped me, I'll argue that the cussing that came after that, you don't have another video like that. You have videos of me doing that in here, never at them in a public setting. All of that occurred after he chest bumped me and hit me with the door. That was it. All I could do, that's peacocking. All I could do was yell, 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 yell. I wanted them all to leave. And once they were gone, then I could leave because I can't leave till they leave. Just like that day in city council when as soon as Ray walked out of the room, then I could walk out of the room. My PTSD forces me to stay and freeze. And I've told them that. Stay and freeze. That's why they use it. They're using what I gave them against me, and you fools are believing it. That's on you. But that being said, guys, in the grand scheme, this too is part of the plan. Them, scanning with my phone. Do you think that worries me if there's nothing on it? No. It just makes them look more retaliatory. And I have a federal lawsuit pending. So now I just go adjust that federal lawsuit to add this in there. That while they were advised that the retaliatory acts were going on and they should stop them, they continued them to a point where they violated several more of my rights. So that means the taxpayers and the insurance company are going to have to put more of that money, and the city doesn't care. That's why they keep doing it. And they keep doing it because you keep voting them into office and you keep supporting their bad behavior. If you think this was right, then fuck me, right? But if you realize this was wrong, it doesn't take but 2 seconds to send an email or a phone call to City Hall and say, stop, or I'm not going to vote for you. Apologize to Aaron and maybe he'll drop the suits. Or at least he'll take a smaller settlement. Because that would be the optimal thing here. To say, Aaron, what will it take to make all of this go away? And I promise you that number's not as outrageous as it's going to be if they make this go to court. I've offered them, I gave them 72 hours on this latest one. They're not gonna. But I give them to Monday. Let's say it's no business days. Call me up, settle this, drop this shit, pay it. Because now that's what you got to do. But more importantly, say you're fucking sorry. Sorry, we were wrong. You know you were wrong. Want to get rid of me? Do that. Start doing the right thing. You want me to stop posting and doing all the shit I do? I'm okay with that. I'm going to be making, again, what I need to make every month to live. Not having my phone for the last 3 or 4 days has been kind of nice. I haven't been looking on Facebook. I haven't been checking on anything. I got this flip phone. I have to remember how to do the old 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with the texting. It takes me forever. So it's great. I can ignore a lot of shit in life that normally I wouldn't be able to because of technology. So thank you for that. They're keeping my property, but every day they keep it, they're violating my civil rights. So you got a chief of police and a police force once again doing this. So when I do sue everyone, and I'm going to have to open up another federal lawsuit against Fallon and crew for violating my civil rights and now taking my phone and not giving it back and for involving themselves in an investigation they should have recused themselves from, including all of the side of the road violations, the Robinson violation, the Terry v. Ohio violation. And yes, I read those cases. And yes, you're fucked. Even at the Riley v. California, where it has to narrow the decision, Judge Rothgary, are you too stupid to read current case law? Apparently you guys are. And that's the one thing you keep thinking. These judges are amazing fucking people. No, they're not. They're elected officials. They're the same cocksucking lawyers that you hire to do your fucking, your shit in court. Right? They're the same ones that you hire for any other thing that you would all make jokes about any other time, but suddenly they're elected in office and you're like, oh, they're amazing. Well, they're amazing until they make bad, unlawful decisions. How you get off writing a protection order or issuing a case with a protection order, and then at the same time issuing a warrant against me in a criminal matter. And I don't know if that's what you guys are trying to do, or you're trying to say the civil case is a quasi-criminal matter, and that's what you're issuing it in. Either way, I don't think you know. I know. that you're fucked. I just don't think you know it. You got to stop retaliating. I'm never going to do anything to physically harm anyone, but I will expose all of the bullshit. That's how I fuck you up. I eviscerate you in fiction right here in this arena. I'm not going out there. You people are scary people. You do scary shit. I just bring light to what is your darkness. I just show you and expose you to the people for the demons you really are. I write your stories about how much you're spending. Imagine if they spent $545,000 over the last, 3-4 years on, Bosnia Herzegovina lawyers. What about the rest? What about Ward and his crew? What about when we start requesting all those other ones? Again, they've hired multiple attorneys for multiple people in multiple situations with our tax dollars, and you just don't care. I get it. It's hard to care when life's beating you up. And life beats you up daily here in Lorain. But this new VA settlement gives me ability to not be beat up. It gives me ability to use that social work degree for free. Because I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to keep supporting the city of Lorain. I'm going to keep supporting the citizens that ask for my help. I'm going to keep doing the things that I do. And for every crazy that thinks I'm shoving some woman in my fucking car in a parking lot, who doesn't realize that person was going through a schizophrenic break and was about to fucking beat the shit out of half the store. But hey, sure, he forces women in his car. So you're going to roll around a minister and tell people that a former city council candidate forces people into cars, women? Really? That's the kind of bullshit that you guys think you can just say and sell in Lorain? Oh, Aaron's this, Aaron's that. Tia Hilton walking up to me at the city council meeting. I'm like, hi, I'm Tia. I just want to introduce myself to somebody who wants to talk about me all the time. Bitch, you talk about me. I fucking know. Everyone knows. That's like me saying I'm Aaron Knapp. No shit, Sherlock. They fucking know. I get it. So yeah, I like to cuss. You don't like it? Fuck off. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm not held by anyone's standards. I'm not working in a field where I have an ethical code. And yeah, as Bulls will say, don't journalists have ethics? Not to not interrupt, bro. That's our job, to get the answer, to get the story over the other person. There's nothing that says that we have to worry about that. You're the one with the ethical code that you need to remember. And again, that especially goes for Mr. Legal Horror. You're running around doing a lot of bad stuff and representing people that cross over shouldn't be happening. And that's why they're coming after me, guys. That's why they're going to keep coming after me. And the Chronicle is going to keep selling their left-sided slant because that's what supports their story. But eventually you'll all see the truth, I promise. But until that day comes, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. On this Saturday night here, it's 1:20. We're about 1:48 in. I just want to say there's more to come. We've asked for both judges to be recused, both in my civil case and in my criminal case. Bob did it in one, I did it in the other. And the one in the civil case is simply, how are you going to be a gaslight motherfucker like, cook and say, this shit's really, really good. There's no way you did it. Right after your magistrate says, you're kind of an asshole, but I'm going to give it to you. Again, you can't have it both ways. You can't make commentary from the bench. You're not the fucking peanut gallery. And yes, City of Lorain's judges have realized I've written some stories about them, and I got a few more coming. We still haven't even finished the expose on Mr. Revenue Stream. So let's start working through our way through the judiciary. Let's start looking at the communications of all these different people. Let's look at the ties between, I don't know, the current judge in one of my cases and his court reporter wife, who I believe is related to another judge who was in the juvenile court in Janik, who actually was over the jurist that forced me out of the court in the juvenile court over bullshit that Tim Weitzel sold them at the behest of Chief McCann. And if you guys don't want to see conspiracy in that, fuck you. It is what it is. They know it. I know it. IT knows it. I don't care if you believe me. I really don't. I know it. I know what they did. McCann knows what they did. Just like those pigs on the side of the road knew what they were doing when they did what they did and illegally stole my phone, which they're going to get a big fat goose egg out of. Stop wasting your time on me. If somebody really is sending threats to Carry On and crew, you need to figure out who it is. It's damn sure not me. I have a way of attacking you guys, and it's overt, not covert. Right? I blurt everything out. If I did this, I would have already told you. Yeah, I wrote that. I mean, I admit to saying, so I'll admit to saying I'm going to fuck these people up, but I won't admit to other stuff. Come on, guys. I admit to what I do because honesty is the only policy. Remember that, folks. I always tell the truth. That way you don't have shit to remember. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight here. It's 1:23 on a Saturday night. If you've been out and partying, I hope you get home safe. If you haven't been out and partying, you do you. Law enforcement, be lawful, not awful. Lorain City government, you got a limited window here to pull your heads out of your asses and save this. You got money. Offer a settlement that looks like this. And we're done. But you keep going down this path, and it's not going to be the money that you have to spend that you should worry about. It's going to be the outcome of the court cases. Because eventually, some government agency with 3 letters is going to take an interest. Maybe that one that you were so concerned I may have already contacted in that first trial. I'm not saying what I have or haven't done. But I think if I were you, or I was your attorney, which I can't be because I'm not an attorney and I'm not offering legal advice, but if I was in an imaginary world, in a place where attorneys could offer, or people that weren't attorneys could offer legal advice as non-attorneys and not get in trouble, I would suggest that y'all come clean because the first ones to the finish line get the best deals. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say thanks for tuning in tonight. This is Aaron Knapp, the guy who definitely did not notify the FBI of everything you've been doing. I definitely didn't do that. Like 1,000% did not call them, did not contact them, have not communicated with them one bit about anything you've done. They have not called me back. They have not asked me for all my evidence, and I have not given it to them. I promise. I swear, I promise. Done none of that. Thanks for tuning in tonight on this Saturday. Hope you guys enjoy your Sunday because it's now Sunday, not Saturday. It's rolled over into the wee hours of the morning. And I thank you for tuning in. This has been Aaron Knapp and a live production of Unplugged with Aaron Knapp. Thanks for tuning in, and you make it a wonderful evening.
Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polished decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask. Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polished decoys.